Okay, so I'm getting from my oracle cards that it's a transformation happening. I'm getting that dreams are coming true. It's an honorable transformation. It's something that's supposed to, I mean, that's an 8, that's a 10, that's an 11. This is a major shift. It's a major shift. And we see this major shift right now in real life, where finally somebody is speaking up and forcing all of these people who are able bodied to go to fucking work and buy your own groceries like everybody else. Why are you accustomed to entitlements on the back of everyone else? Because there are people who have children as well and they go to work to afford them, on top of pay taxes to afford people who don't want to go to work to afford their children, your own children. Those are yours. You had a choice. You didn't have to have them kids. Nobody forced you to have children. 4, 5, 2, 3. Why would you have one if you couldn't afford it? Let alone 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. If you cannot afford the first one, what are you doing with more than one? That's like having more than one mansion. You can't afford the property taxes and the upkeep on the first one. Why do you have 5? Unless each one of the mansions are getting you money so you can sit around and do nothing. And that's pretty much using children to get away from being responsible. But either way, that's just an example of the major transformation that's happening in the stars, in the galaxy, in the energy all around. This is not just a manifestation of one person's life changing. This is about to be life changing for lots of people, millions and millions and millions of people, the world, basically. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, these changes are happening for everybody. Everyone. No one's getting skipped because it has to balance out. There's been a lot of dishonorable actions, imbalanced actions, unresolved situations, people being defeated that don't deserve to be defeated. That's very likely the imbalance. There's a release going on right now. Knocking the barnacles off. It's required. It's been a long time coming. And this is, again, it's not just one person. There's a lot of people that are involved. There's a lot of fury going on too. Fury, not just anger. Fury is more of a deep rooted word to me, in my opinion. Fury suggests a level of a mental imbalance as well. Because you have somebody that, a person can get angry. Everybody's been angry about something at some point. But furious says to me that you've lost your cool. You've lost your fucking mind. Like, you have lost your mind. Fury means that you're not just angry, you're furious. Furious means to me that there's a deeper level. It's not just angry. There's a deep rooted more intimate problem there. It's not just angry. I'm angry if, I'm standing on the curb waiting on, the bus, and someone drives by and splashes water on me through a puddle. The same thing happens for me to get furious about it. It's a lot off the handle. It says that there's something wrong with me. Like, yeah, that person's a jackass for doing that. But to get furious about it, that says something about me. But it's a lot of changes going on, and it's a lot of people who are refusing growth. They're refusing to grow and to nurture themselves and to balance out. That takes nurturing and growth. They got a lot of unresolved problems, and this shakeup, this transformation is changing them in ways in which they didn't want to change. They never wanted to see this change. They wanted this to continue in the same methodology, in the same cycle, and for everyone to feel like there is no way to change it. But just like anyone that you forced to change, there is going to be a level of resistance, and that resistance comes in the form of fury, a hissy fit. And I mean, not just crying, but red in the face, screaming, crying, busting blood vessels in their eyes, crying, snot-nosed, like kicking, screaming, fury. You get it, right? This change that's happening is causing folks to really come unhinged. I mean, naturally, and the example that I use, I know I'm harping on it, but it's a great example, is, people have become accustomed to not having to be responsible. And in that, not having to carry any responsibility for major life responsibilities. I know I'm droning on about the word responsibility, but hear me out. You don't pay for your own food. You don't pay for your own living, like where you live. You don't pay for that either. Every year, tax time, after you punch the clock for 2 weeks, you get $10,000 and more checks. You get WIC. You get medical assistance. This is, of course you have people that are having a furious temper tantrum. All of these very important things, taking care of your child, WIC, daycare, rent, food. All of these things, not to mention, again, the $10,000s of dollars checks that they see. Everybody's been seeing, going to buy new cars and TVs and all this other stuff. That, of course, is going to cause some fury. Man, this justice card will not go away. Justice and the High Priestess. Wow. Some things that people don't see are happening. They can't see the future. They can't see themselves Again, the example that I gave is just a great example, but keep it in mind. They can't see themselves deviating from their norm and actually producing change because they never intended on it. So now when there's a forced change, of course you can't perceive yourself in the future. You never wanted to look at yourself or your life in a different manner. You always wanted to be the same thing every day. Get up in the morning or get up in the afternoon after being out all night long, drinking and smoking and fucking and making more babies. Keeping that going. There's no way that you woke up at any time during the day in the morning and thought, I see myself in 5 years being this person. Ain't no way. Because if that was at all true, then that would have been being done. Some form of that step would have been made to get to that point at some point. And these people couldn't perceive that. And again, they wanted to continue in the same cycle. They didn't perceive change. And they still don't. They're just being forced to. That's what's making this even harder for everybody. It's because now you must be a responsible person. Because when you take away mommy and daddy's wallet, when you take away the help and force the bird out of the nest, it has to either fall and learn how to fly. But that's also justice as well. It's justice because those people who didn't have the opportunity or didn't make those decisions to have babies and just sit on, public assistance, those people had to learn how to fly. Because there is no assistance for people who don't create hard times. There's no assistance for women who don't have any children. There's no assistance. What assistance? You get the unemployment office. That's what you get. That's what you get. Somebody will show you how to make a resume. Somebody will try to help you get a job. But there is no, you get to sit at home and do nothing all day. No, there's none of that. And that's justice because all of those people who had to learn how to fly, again, most of the money from all of these programs come from those people because they don't get tax returns of $7,000. They don't get $10,000 checks. That's the people who did all the irresponsible shit that's turning around getting $10,000 checks. But who are they getting all that money from? They're getting it from people who can't get those subsidies. You got a woman with no kids, punching the clock all year, plus overtime, plus time and a half, plus sometimes double time and a half, probably on 2 jobs. And then you have a woman with 4 kids getting all of her money. Because all of those taxes are being transferred over to this other person. But these are the same, that's a woman and this is a woman. This woman chose not to have children without being able to afford them. So to be rewarded with paying for somebody who decided, well, I don't want to go to work. Well, so does neither does the woman who has no children. That's another thing I need everybody to understand. I don't know what the fuck y'all thinking. The people at your job don't want to be there either. I don't understand. Like, what the hell you think? Everybody loves it there? Like, nobody, literally. This, maybe the CEOs, maybe the upper management, they enjoy their jobs, they enjoy their pay. But nobody beneath them actually was like, yeah, this is where I, want to be for the rest of my life. That's pretty much across the board with most jobs. So I'm not sure why they think that, I don't want to work. Nobody does, honey. No one. Who? Unless you're doing something you literally love to do, which is not everybody. Chances are great you're at a job that you don't want to be at all damn day. Being exhausted and overloaded. Worked down to the bone. And then add to that, there is no reciprocity. What happens when you go to work? Typically, when you go to work, you're around people who are they don't really want to be there. And some of them are pretty fucking miserable and do not mind making your life miserable. Some of them are so miserable you absolutely know that everybody in their household is miserable because they are that miserable. They literally emanate misery. So, of course, your workday is you getting wore the fuck out. Trying your hardest not to say what you really be thinking about that person. Trying your hardest not to tell somebody to go straight to hell and leave you alone. Just like that. In that order. Yeah. Overworked. Plenty of pressure. The change is that the people who have obtained history, work history, and spent time getting stronger, those people are going to see success. Yeah, look at that. Their investments are going to pay off. They're more of a good business person. They're more pragmatic. They're a go-getter. They're more creative, more focused, more intuitive. More driven. Because you've had a reason to be driven. You're not driven when all you do is get up in the middle of the day and get started with, smoking and drinking. What are you driven to do? There's no inspiration there. There's no fire there. There's no gas there. There's no nothing. It's not even a spark. What is forcing you to get up and change? Nothing. It's definitely not that coworker that done got on your last nerve. It's definitely not that situation that's got you sitting in your car contemplating, I'm getting ready to leave this motherfucker today because I'm tired of Samantha and her mouth. Or I'm tired of Rob putting shit on my desk and talking to me crazy and having sword fights with me all damn day. Acting like he knows. Insulting me on the low, pulling me to the carpet about everything I do. That's the type of stuff that lights a fire up into your ass and makes you want to get the fuck on. Whether it's do another job or whether it's to, I'm taking this money and I'm opening a boutique. I'm building my credit and I'm getting a loan and I'm getting ready to open this barbershop, like, because I can't keep doing this shit. That's what lights you up. Waking up in the morning, arguing and fighting, or waking up in the middle of the day, or waking up at 3 in the afternoon, arguing and fighting, just now getting up for the day, rolling up, finishing the bottle, going to sit out on the porch, smoking a cigarette. Like, that's not really gonna light you up. That's not an investment. It's not creativity at work at all. See, that type of stuff where you work, that forces you to master yourself. Like I said, you got to learn not to cuss anybody out. Because you can't just do that, right? But see, people who sleep all goddamn day, they the ones that think it's okay. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. No, you can't. You can't. There's a level of decency and respect that we all have to have. And if you don't have it, you don't have any home training. If you don't have home training, what the fuck was your mama doing? The same shit you do every day? And if your mama was doing the same shit you do every day, that's why the fuck that fucking shit needs to get cut off. Because ain't no way in the world you need to have generations of people sitting up on stamps and shit. Your grandma did it. Your mama did it. Now you doing it. And now you got two 19-year-old daughters and they well on their way to doing it. Where's your home training? Where's your self-mastery? Where's your discipline? Where's your self-respect? Where's your creativity? Where? I don't give a fuck how many blunts you roll up. You never once woke up in the morning and said, damn, I want to make dresses for real. I really want to learn how to be a chef. I want to learn how to cook. And where's your self-discipline to get up and learn how to tailor, how to run a sewing machine, how to design clothes? Being constructive with your time instead of destructive. That's where the turn of events is coming. Now you got to learn that, and you got to learn it right now. You don't get any time to figure it out. Because you knew what it was all the time you was doing what it wasn't. Whole time you knew what you should have been doing, but you weren't doing it. Time's up. Now you got to be the leader in your own life. When you never actually functionally used that form of your character. And the worst part about it is you're not going to be able to manipulate nothing. Because that's not creative power. Being able to lie and manipulate is not creativity. You're going to have to get it how you live. And with me saying that, I feel like it's very honest that they are those people. And I'm just going on with this example. It could be, just use it as an example, pretty much. Getting it how you live could end up with some of these people don't come out alive. Just throwing that out there. Because it takes a form of introspection, takes a form of self mastery, being honest with yourself, loving yourself to change yourself. And I want to be honest, even being kicked out of the nest like that, that's not the end of your life. It's not the end of the world. Even being kicked out of the nest like that, you can still be a successful person without having to get it how you live, without having to kick in somebody else's door to obtain it. That makes me think about those PPP loans and how that was an opportunity for all people, well, for all people who was doing this scam, to utilize the opportunity to make a change in their lives. And I'm saying that to say this, like if a person received, let's say $90,000, $100,000, just round it out, $100,000 of PPP money. That is well over what most people get for a small business, really, from like a credit union. So in reality, it's $100,000 of free money because you stole it, basically. You lied and stole it. That could have been used to actually create a real business. Therefore, by the time you actually get caught up in the shit in the fan, you're able to give that money back with no problem. Because that happened in 2020. This is 2025. Even if you made that flip only one time, that's $200,000. I imagine that if you really use $100,000 to create an actual business that's functioning, that at year 5, half a decade, you should have seen some type of return more than what you put in. That's return on your investment, right? At year 5. But instead, most people use it, like I said, get how you live, to live like they normally live. Took the money and blew it on nothing at all. But again, the justice is that there's no more of that coming out. Like there's no more handout, no more free rides. Now people got to really get in the game. Death. Yeah. The game is over. There's a transformation. It must be done. Like, so in a sense, it's like those people who are on the bottom, who were working or are working and learning and gaining and being getting stressed out and being changed in a multitude of ways every single day, being affected by what they learn, what they do, all of that. Those people have more of a head start, and those people are the ones that are going to be at the top of the wheel because the wheel's turned already. That's why there's all this crying. That's why there's all this fury. That's why there's an ending. Like, we've dropped off the cliff already. There's no more road ahead. It's over with. Everybody dropped off the cliff. It's done. Like, we're done. Now we just, now we smack the concrete together, Where you at? Where are you at? I hope everybody understood that. Anyway. Let me see this. Well, hearing from the angels. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see what's up. Yeah, that change needed to occur. Something gotta give. Something gotta give. 7 of Wands. The Hierophant. But what else? Ace of Swords. Interesting. Standing firm. Everybody, well, yeah, of course. Everybody gonna learn that today. We already dropped off the cliff. There's no going back. And so naturally, it's standing firm because there is no going back. If you, think about the analogy I use, dropping off of a cliff. Once you launch, propel, fall, slip, roll off of a cliff, there's absolutely no way on the planet that you're just going to miraculously be back up on the cliff again. It's over with. You now, there's nothing ahead of you. The only thing ahead of you is your future, and whatever that is. Like, are you going to land on a hammock? Are you going to land on the concrete? Are you landing in some water below? Bushes, trees? Hopefully it'll be a soft landing. But there's no way that you are about to somehow end back up on that ledge on the cliff. So standing firm being, everybody, like I said just moments ago, once you hit the ground, what do you do, what do you do next? Like, where you at? Did you land in the bush? Did you land in the water? Or did you hit the concrete, the literal boulders below? Where are you at on this? Standing firm. Yeah. Because once it's over, it's over. You must. Must create. Must learn something new. Must change. Change is a must. And for those people that are already walking on the correct path, because not everybody needs to, emphatically change in 2 seconds, because not everybody was doing the wrong thing. Not everybody is wrong. It's those people who know what they're doing has always been wrong. It's always been selfish. It's always been lazy. It's always been destructive and unproductive. Always. They knew it. Everybody around them knew it. And they refused to change it. Judgment. And this is the Hierophant. I don't know why I got judgment out of that. I get judgment out of that. I get, this is the repercussions of your actions. This is what you get. It's like musical chairs. When the music stops, were you moving around making sure that you, had a seat? Or, were you off in La La Land bullshitting? I get a judgment being made, something written in stone, something that this is how it's supposed to be. It's a balance. Like I mentioned in the Justice card, like it's a balance. It's required to challenge. It's not, and don't get me wrong, this isn't something that I'm saying like as a spiteful or vindictive concept, right? I'm saying it because it's something that millions and millions of people, and like I said, very many people need to change. They need to grow the fuck up. You should not have this many adults refusing to be adults, yet doing adult things like drinking, smoking, and having children. Like, there's got to be a justice here. There's got to be a judgment here. There's got to be a change here. And it's got to be abrupt and something appalling, something gripping in order to get it to happen. And they want, of course, they want everybody to share, of course. But they want everybody to share, but there's a limitation, right? There's always a limitation to how much you're willing to share, Like, I buy a bag of Skittles and you ask me for some. I'm not about to pour half my bag of Skittles in your hand. Like, there's only so many of them you are about to get out of my bag. I don't care how many times you ask me for some. The first time I might give you 4 or 5 of them, 6. The next time you ask, I might give you a couple more. The third time you ask, I'm going to tell you to buy your own goddamn bag of Skittles. These are mine. Like, yeah, I know it's a king size bag. Yeah, very aware. That's why I bought it. And I didn't mind sharing some with you, but you're not about to sit here and eat up all my Skittles. because I bought them for myself to enjoy, not to give them all to you while you enjoy, you indulge. And then I'm sitting here like, well, I didn't really get my sensation filled. I didn't get my craving satiated because I shared 87% of the bag with you. And then to turn around, you're not even grateful for it. It's that wasn't shit but a bag of Skittles. You really finna say, and now there's a bag of Skittles. Why you acting like? Yeah, same bag of Skittles that you didn't pay for. You, matter of fact, wasn't even thinking about Skittles till you saw me eating them. And then suddenly you had a craving for Skittles. That was a great example too, y'all. Just stick with me, hang in there with me, okay? Nobody minds sharing is where I was going with that. Nobody minds sharing, but some people just OD. They overboard. Like I said, there's no reason why your grandma, your mama, and you and your daughter are now on Section 8. Like what? Like there's who's gonna stand up and actually do the work to, grow, get past that limitation. Like who? Nobody minds helping. It's just at what point does it? At what point is it abusive? At what point is it using? At what point is it just flat out you like you need to stop. You need to grow up. Like you need to get your own. You need to think for yourself. Create on your own. Stand on your own 2 feet. Wow. This is long. I'm wrapping it on up. I'm wrapping it up right now. Because I feel like I done went on and on. I just want to get 2 cards. One for people who need to grow the hell up, and the other for, people who are already on their path and just, not that they got it all figured out, but they already doing something. Like they're already using their intuition, creativity, power. All right, one for the folks that need to grow the hell up. And one for the folks that are already using their power. Wow. Wowzers. So one for the people who need to grow the hell up. And this the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands. To me, they need to realize that they're the ones that need to dig deep and pull out the passion for life. They're the ones that need to connect with their creative energy and bring what's up down. Nobody can do that for you. I don't know what you desire. I don't know what you want. Until you make that determination It can't come until you start, like I mentioned earlier on in this reading, until you start putting your foot in the direction of what you perceive for your future. Ain't no way it can come to you. How? It literally cannot manifest. How? You sitting at home rolling up, drinking and talking crazy all night, every day, all day. How are you going to learn how to be a seamstress? They literally cannot manifest. And no one can make you do that. No one can make you put that blunt out and jump online and start looking at some seamstress classes. Swing by the local tailor and ask questions. Swing by your local St. Vincent de Paul or something. See if there's one of those sewing mannequins in there or something. Maybe an old school iron or some needles or something. I don't know. Nobody can make you get creative and draw those things into you. But you got to get creative and open your mind up for that to come to you, for those creative ideas to manifest. They can't if you don't put yourself in that position. Like if you don't try to do it, it can't. Literally. Like your lights in your room can't cut on until you flip the switch and open the circuit. If you never go over to the wall and flip the switch, the lights are not coming on. That's just how that works. And it's the same thing here. If you never put your foot forward to go do the shit, how are you going to have that creative concept to even think, okay, well, I did this. Oh, boy said that. Let me go. Maybe if I remember such and such. Epiphanies can't happen. These things cannot occur. It just is not going to happen. So, wow. So this card for people who need to get their shit together is Michael. He who is like God. Michael is perhaps the most powerful of the angels and the most godlike in relations to the vigorous and powerful energy he can infuse by igniting our subconscious, propelling us toward action, leadership, career advancement, imagination, new beginnings, and total assertion of our will. Sounds like something I literally just said, but we'll keep it moving. He is also the angel capable of taking us lower than all others, bringing us down in the absolute lowest way. Sounds like some other shit I already said. If his energy is used in a negative way, abuse of power, arrogance, or pride can drastically reverse his action, bringing decline, failure, powerlessness, and misfortune. So, right now, those folks that are abusing the power of Michael, the power of arrogance and pride, they very likely are feeling helpless and hopeless right now. Because you feeling arrogant, meaning you're feeling entitled. If you're feeling entitled and things like that, you're not in the correct energy. And that's what I said, that, you know, where are you at when we hit the ground? Well, them niggas they're gonna learn today. And then for people who already are on the right road, the star. Now, I know what I'm saying has got to be right. It's gotta be. That just the star. Like, I didn't shuffle these and then just deal from the top. I picked out of the deck just 2 cards. 69 is Rochelle, God who sees all. The angel restores all the ideas, thoughts, and concepts that truly belong to us. Rochelle clears the mental labyrinth consisting of all the superstructures we have absorbed over the years. I think I said that. I think I mentioned that. I think I said it, but okay. These can come from our family, society at large, our upbringing, and the circumstances surrounding us. However, the angel's actions can be humiliating, violent, and frustrating if we do not agree to voluntarily abandon values, habits, and impulses we feel attached to, even though they don't truly belong to us. Man, I said that having a job, I've been saying it over and over again. It was just an example, but apparently it's a great example. You having a job ignites that fire to change who you are, to use your creative energy, your intuition, and to get it together and figure it out. Society makes you do it. Working makes you do it. The frustrations and humiliation and the anger and the things that they're unsettling, uncomfortable, and you want them to stop. Right? You don't want to be at a place every day for 8 hours a day where people get on your goddamn nerves. Who in the hell would sign up for that? But that's a real reality for many millions of people every single day. They do these jobs in order to fund their futures and pay their bills and try to move forward. But it's still the uncomfortable, humiliating process every day for 8 hours a day. And some of us are well over that. And also family as well. Because family and relationships will make you change who you are as well. Whole family full of lushes. Chances are good that you are going to grow up to either be a lush or say, I don't ever want a drink in my damn life. Everybody in my family drinks all the time for no reason. Like, we meet together and that's the first thing, everybody brings out a bottle. Everybody, or a beer, or wine, or all of it. That can change who you are as well. Oh, hey, I am lectured long enough. I hope y'all like this episode. I didn't want to put my face on camera, so I did it. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. Click like, subscribe. Thank you.